Hey everyone, welcome to video number 5 of this AI game dev series. In this video we're going to start turning this into a real game. We'll add a menu system with start and quit buttons, a 60-second timer to add a challenge, a portal objective at the end of the game that requires the player to collect at least 10 coins, a visual feedback system so when bandits steal your coins you can tell, and a full production build at the end so you can run your game outside of Unity. Let's get started. So what I'm going to do first is create some text buttons inside of the canvas underneath the player camera using Text Mesh Pro. If you haven't imported this yet, you'll get this little pop-up to import Text Mesh Pro into your project. Once you have that, you can go ahead and click on the text element underneath your button here and set some text. So I'm going to create a start button and just name that start button, and then I'm going to duplicate it and create a button for the player to quit out of the game as well. Once I have these in place, what I'm going to want to do is kind of position them, maybe do a little bit of resizing so they look okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You know, you kind of want it to look in the center of the screen, so we'll run it real quick and yep, that looks fine. The next thing that we're going to do here is add another piece of text actually for the timer, and we want that to be up in the top right of the screen. This is going to be a 60-second timer basically that gives the player an idea of how much time they have left to reach the end portal. Alright, now we're switching over to Gemini, and I'm going to start prompting it here to tell it, hey, I've got a menu system with a start and quit button, and I want the escape button to pause the game for me. Can you please implement a component that I can hook up to allow me to get some of this behavior? So once I have that prompt in here, I will go ahead and click OK and let Gemini run and do its thing. One thing I did want to mention is that for this particular implementation, I did go back and forth with Gemini quite a bit to get this to work. So I'm not going to show you every single prompt that I went through, but basically it gave me a component that I can attach to a game object called Menu Manager and hook up those components, those buttons that I just created. So that's what I'm going to do here real quick and run it and just check and see, yep, that looks good. So next thing we're going to do here is switch over to Rodin again, and I want to make a portal. So at the end of the level, at the end of the path, this is going to be kind of the objective for the player to reach. So I'm putting in a little prompt here, and I really like that. That looks really cool. Sort of like a glowing red effect there. So I'm going through this process again like we've done in past videos where I'm generating the texture. I'm going to download this as an FBX object and just get the PBR material here. And then I'm going to go ahead and import it into Unity. I'm creating another folder here for the object itself. Pull this in. Once again, I get an error about the normal map. I'm not sure why Rodin does that, but at any rate, that looks good. Let's zoom in here, find the end of the path, and let's drag our portal right at the end of the path there and kind of get it into place. Alright, cool. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and actually add a collider to this right now because this is kind of necessary for the behavior when you want the player to actually complete the level. So next here, I'm going to give it some more prompts in Gemini here to get it to start working on the behavior for when the player reaches the end portal. We have a couple of conditions here. There's a 60-second timer, and the player needs to actually collect at least 10 coins before they can enter the portal and complete the level. So again, I went back and forth with Gemini quite a bit here. I'm going to post the link to a GitHub repository that has all of the code that I've generated. I'll also provide some prompts in some paste bin links that I'll provide if you want to try the prompts out yourself. But it is a back and forth process with Gemini. So at any rate, now actually what we're going to do is we're going to create another piece of text here for just the level complete text. So this is for when the player actually makes it to the portal and they've completed all the objectives. We just want to pop up a little message in the middle of the screen saying, congratulations, you beat the level, or you beat level 1. And that will need to be hooked up to the menu manager here. So we'll just go ahead and drag that in, and let's test this out and see what happens. So I sped this up a little bit, but as you can see, we're collecting coins. Bandits are trying to steal them, but we're doing pretty good. We got 16 coins, and hey, there we go. All right. Looks like it works. Let's test out what happens if we don't collect enough coins, if we just run around all these bandits and we don't have any coins in our inventory. Just make sure that works. Okay, so it gives a message that says you need at least 10 coins to win. All right. Now, the next thing I wanted to show here is there's actually a new version of Unity that came out. So I'm going to show the upgrade process here. So what you want to do is select the little drop down there and choose the new version. And yeah, you can hit continue here. And what you're going to see is once I open this up and hit play, Unity is actually going to crash. And I ran into this with a couple of my other projects. Long story short, I used Gemini a little bit to help me debug this, but the problem was that the enable tree colliders checkbox on all of the terrain objects was causing the crash. So what I did here real quick is just unchecked the enable tree colliders option on the terrain, and that ended up being the root cause here. So you can look at the crash log if you want to get into, you know, figuring out exactly what happened. But yeah, at any rate, the next thing we're going to do is implement a visual feedback system that kind of gives you a visual indicator when the coin bandits are actually stealing your coins. I did want to give a shout out real quick to Michelle Petruzzelli, who kind of came up with this idea in one of the comments. Appreciate the feedback, and glad you're enjoying the videos. I thought this was a great idea to kind of give the player you know, a sense of when the bandits are actually stealing their coins. So what I'm going to do here is kind of have it shake the camera a little bit and do a little bit of a red flash over the entire screen. So at any rate, if anyone else is watching these videos and has other ideas for additions or improvements, I'm more than happy to try them out and show you. So it looks like our first implementation of this, looks like it's red for some reason when the scene starts, but after that it actually looks to be working quite well. Looks like when the bandits steal your coins, the camera shakes a little bit and you get kind of like a red overlay, so looks like we're close. So I'm going to pop back over here and give it a prompt and just say, hey, the red overlay is still being displayed when the game first starts, but after a coin's stolen for the first time, it looks like it fixes itself. So let's see. Yep, there we go. No longer seeing the red overlay, and when the bandits steal a coin, it's camera shaken and we're getting the red overlay. So great. Looks like we got that figured out. Alright, so the last thing I want to show here real quick is how to actually build and run your project. This will produce an executable and some binaries that you can actually launch outside of the Unity editor. This is what you do if you're going to actually create a real build and, you know, publish it on Steam or distribute it to, you know, other people that you want to have played the game. So I'm choosing a bin folder as my output directory, and once that compiles and builds, you see we get this executable here, and if I double click on it and run it, it should launch the game here. And yep, there's that classic made with Unity intro scene, and here's our game. So that's it. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. Like I mentioned, I will leave a link to the GitHub page for this Unity project, so if you want to download it, you can try it out yourself. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.